Welcome back. I hope you have felt more connected to the direction of your spirit, accessing your guidance, and you have gained value from knowing the gift of unconditional giving. So today, we're going to focus on what it is like to give all parts of ourselves expression and voice. So often in our lives, we operate from familiar patterns of going on autopilot, from one thing to the next, while part of us stay unexpressed, feel disconnected, and maybe even suppressed. Especially during our spiritual path, it is very easy to judge the parts of you that feel fearful, disappointed, upset, jealous, angry, or not good enough. And we might hide those parts from ourselves, thinking we should be perfect and present an image of having it all together. And what happens when we don't express those parts of ourselves is we're holding energy from our true self. When you're in a company meeting, for example, and somebody cuts you off, you might feel dismayed and unimportant and rejected, hurt. Or something happens at home and you're walking around with hurt feelings. You know that feeling, right? For example, your significant other didn't take your feelings into consideration. What happens then is that part of you needs to be acknowledged by you, that it was important and was disregarded. It's important that you allow that part of you the expression that it deserves. Give it a voice. Speak it out loud if you need to. But forgive it any judgments that you might have on yourself for feeling that way. Forgiving the other person who made you feel that way. And that energy then starts to be unblocked. It's a very powerful thing that you acknowledge that. That vulnerability is very powerful because you're opening up your consciousness to the other human part of you, and on the other side of that is freedom. The other part of you will say, "Oh, I see, I have a friend in me." So you see, when we allow those parts of ourselves to speak and we really listen to them, you start to feel your heart opens up to all parts of you and understand and bring compassion to those parts of yourself and reassure those parts by saying, "I'm here for you, to stand by you, to protect you, and to love you." And then you realize you're connected to your inner family and have your inner family intact. And that's how you build that inner trust. In order to have a trusting relationship with God in you, you have to first have a trusting relationship in yourself with all parts of you. The child, the adult, the ego, the discouraged person, the reluctant person, the shy person, and all the others. And let's open up the conversation with all these parts without judging them. Start from building a foundation with your inner family instead of pushing them aside. You see, in Greece, we have no word like fine. There is no such thing, how are you, fine. We always have some kind of emotional life going on. And then we will find our consciousness starts to align because we're not withholding or judging any energy from ourselves. You might have a therapist, a coach, a counselor, or a loving friend, but the most loving voice is available inside of us. And it takes courage. When you might feel vulnerable, when your guard comes down and you reach that raw parts of yourself that have no defenses. That's okay. You may resist it because the ego likes to feel in control and thrives on and pretending it knows everything. So this is where prayer can be totally uplifting and comforting, because in prayer, we bring all these parts of ourselves to the table and give them compassion and love and permission to be so very human and heal the unhealed places in us. That's the beauty of prayer. The Spirit meets us in our most human parts. Come as you are, nothing to hide. That is your entry point, just as you are, all of you. So let us come into a prayer. Again, focus on your heart, soften your heart. Feel the breath coming in. As you exhale, release the tensions, release the constrictions, and open up to receive. Dear beloved, I am feeling frazzled and out of balance. Something has set me off and removed me from my center, and I would like to take a few moments to refocus on my true sense of being. I ask that I come into acceptance of what just happened and be able to forgive, to look at the deeper issue that might surface for me and then let it go. I ask that any judgment that I have towards myself or the other person of the situation be forgiven. I ask that I may not take everything personally right now, and that I may restore my love and acceptance for myself and recognize that what just happened doesn't mean there is anything wrong with me. In this healing process, I ask and I permit that I may be able to transform from the experience of being out of balance to bringing the Spirit in to restore me. Let it go and come into my own fullness. I breathe in this balance. I breathe in my centeredness and let go. I allow my feelings to surface, to restore myself into my own balance by not denying how I feel, but knowing that there is me beyond my feelings, and that's the part that I want to connect with more right now. And exhale and receive and come present, and so be it. So, my friends, for our practice today, I want you to get your journal or your workbook and ask yourself some questions that can make you aware of what is working and not working, and allow you to listen to the deeper voices within you. So ask yourself these questions. What worked today? Sometimes the answers are very simple. Sometimes they're bigger things. For example, it can be just that you took a walk in the morning and put down your devices a few hours before bed. Then ask, what would I like to bring more of in my life today? This is an opportunity to hear all the parts of yourself. Maybe you're yearning to have more playfulness in your life. Maybe you need the courage to hear something that has been buried inside of you for some time. And just as a loving mother doesn't say to a child, "Shut up, we don't have time for that," listen to yourself with love and give each need an expression and a safe place. And finally, ask yourself, what does Spirit have to say to me? The Spirit says, and start to write that down, do not censor it. Maybe it says, shut up and let me love you. If you make a habit of asking these questions in your mind or writing them down, you could be in the middle of a difficult situation and you can ask those questions and you will hear what Spirit advises you in the moment. Oh, take time to meditate. You need to let go of this experience. You need to be more around this person and not be around this person. As you ask yourself these questions, you will start to hear the loving voice of the Spirit, which will direct you to be more loving, more attentive, more kind, and compassionate to yourself, and you'll end up feeling way more connected, more safe, more trusting, and you'll walk everywhere with yourself intact and your God self anchored in you. Isn't that wonderful? What a wonderful day you'll have. So go practice, my friends. Build that inner muscle. Build that inner connection. It's yours for your life.